I want to welcome you all here tonight. Thank you for joining us. So here at Promise Presence, our goal is to help businesses to better strategize their business through coaching as well as through startup development. Our focus is on human-centered design, product management, as well as sustainability. So um, we are here to help leverage you and your business tonight by implementing artificial intelligence into your daily practice. So our presenters tonight, we have Jessica Walker, who is an innovation and a business strategist. We have Tracy Presume, who is our marketing analysis. And myself, your host tonight, Tamisha Hickson, who is the business development analysis for Promise and Presence. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us again. Great. Well, we'll move along. So our agenda tonight is one, to talk about what is artificial intelligence. Two, why is it important for businesses? And three, how to implement it into your business model. So to begin tonight, we will dive into what is artificial intelligence, and I will hand it off to my colleague, Jessica.
All right, Ty, thanks for walking us through the introduction, and I'm looking forward to just continuing tonight's conversation. I would say that tonight's call is really what I would label as AI 101. So we're going to be talking about the basics, and depending on how tonight's conversation goes, we can definitely schedule more time to dive deeper into AI. We know that it's all the rage, and we are hosting these monthly conversations around AI and a lot of the other things that are trending in business, just to make sure, one, we're up to speed, because we look to consult others and help them go through their business processing and business planning, but also to just make sure that we're also helping others think about the most effective ways to remain relevant, to become more efficient in their delivery, and ultimately just transform the way business is done across the board. So with that, just to level set us on tonight's conversation, I do apologize. It appears my computer, there we go, ran into a few issues there. So we're going to talk about what is AI. So simply put, AI is artificial intelligence. It's using data and technology to do what a human would do. And this isn't a new concept. AI has been around since the 1950s. So there is actually a paper that was created in the early 1950s that was called Computing, Machinery, and Intelligence. And at the time, it was just very high level. But even if you think about something like The Wizard of Oz and Tin Man, or if you think about the Jetsons and all of these things where we've seen throughout history a desire to leverage technology to do those cool and fancy things. And over the span of time, the more we know, the more efficient we've been able to become. And we see that with artificial intelligence, where it's doing everything from driving cars, it's helping in the curing of cancer, the helping doctors out in their predictive modeling. You see it from your watches and everything else you do. Artificial intelligence is all around us. So whether it's filing your taxes and the predictive modeling that goes into helping you with your taxes. With television, being able to identify what your desires are and the things that you're most interested in, all of that's rooted in artificial intelligence. And there are multiple layers within artificial intelligence that go beyond ChatGPT. So we know that we see ChatGPT all across social media, but you have narrow AI, which is data and technology that's coded to perform a specific task, right? It's help remind me to wake up tomorrow at 8 o'clock, or set an alarm. Let me say it that way, because it can't wake you up, but set an alarm to remind me to get up tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. So when you think about Alexa and Google Voice, all of that's rooted in artificial intelligence. And then you have general AI, and that's where you see things nowadays where even getting your eyelashes done, there are robots that are in place that are able to do those tasks that you see humans do. Then you have machine learning, which is a subcomponent of artificial intelligence. So machine learning is really leveraging data to recreate questions based on patterns. So we know that if you go out to Google and you search for something, you'll start to see recommendations over time based on your search history. Where if you're looking to understand about a giant, right? If you're in California, your results are going to be different from your results if you are in New York. Why is that? There's a baseball team that's called the Giants, and there's also a soccer team, I think it is, that's called the Giants. And for everyone else, they would produce just general results. But the data is able to take all of those factors into account. So where you're located, what are your interests, and a lot of that is captured based on the data that you allow these websites to capture when you go to Facebook and when you purchase things. They leverage all of that to build a profile about you to then predict what they think you would like to do in the future. So then you have deep learning. So within healthcare, we see AI is currently being used to assist doctors with surgeries, and it also assists them with some of the mundane things like administrative burden. So pre-populating forms based on your visits. So it's across all industries, from healthcare to finance to defense. Just across the board, you see artificial intelligence moving into everyday jobs. If you go to McDonald's, now they have the computer set up to assist you with ordering your meals. So no matter where you're at, it's almost impossible to escape artificial intelligence. So as we continue through tonight's conversation, we are going to talk about how to leverage it in your business to help streamline your day-to-day activities. So we're going to talk about it at a very high level implementation opportunity perspective, right? So there are some, when you think about artificial intelligence, there's a lot that goes into the coding and the back end work to build an infrastructure within a business to allow for some of the customization. So tonight we're just going to talk about high level how to implement it. What are some of those out of the box tools that you can do in your business to help transform it. But I would love to have the opportunity to talk about how to implement it on the back end at a different time. So using AI, some of the advantages of AI is that, especially with things like ChatGPT, Google Bard, Bing, and things like that, you have Copy AI, you're able to get quick results. They're not customized results, but you're able to get quick results. Where if you're looking to make a decision, right, and you're trying to understand patterns within a customer base or within a population, you're able to input your questions pretty easily into the search engines to say, could you help me identify a customer base who may be interested in orthopedic shoes? And we're going to go through some examples here live in a second, but essentially you're able to use that to make decisions about, should I launch, when is the best time to launch my product? When is the best time to hire new college graduates for my company? What are some of the pros and cons of launching in the Texas market versus launching in New York? AI is able to provide those type of details to you rather quickly. Another area that you see another area where you see AI being leveraged is within customer experience or customer service. So when you call up and you're looking to get assistance with your credit card, or you're calling to troubleshoot with Best Buy, and you get this voice operated person where they're asking you to input your entries to get you to the right department. All of that's built on the back end of AI. It's the same way if you go to the website and they have these chats and they're called all types of things. You hear some chat engines called Cindy, or you may see your Alexa apps. all of that's rooted in helping to make things easy for you and to get your results right there to you. So pretty much having all of the answers right at your fingertips. A lot of times, especially if you're running a small business, you're already strapped for resources. But if you're able to implement things like the customized chats, if you're able to use things like Chat GPT to customize your emails, you're able to move faster within your business, and you're able to focus on those things that matter most. AI is another great opportunity for you. Leveraging AI is another great way to identify business opportunities. Again, it helps you identify your targeted audience. It helps you understand new products that are out there, because for the most part, most of these chat engines leverage the latest and greatest information. So they're able to input news articles, they're able to pull from more research to provide a perspective. Again, it's not customized, but it gives you a generalized viewpoint on what you potentially could pursue. And you're able to optimize your processes. So at a large scale, when you think about Fortune 100s, Fortune 500s, they leverage AI to reduce waste. It's one of those controversial things that we're going to talk about a bit later in the presentation, where we get into the ethical use of AI. But a lot of times when companies are looking to reduce costs, they look to AI to solve those things solve things where we have humans in place, and the AI can redo or recreate whatever they're doing quicker and at a cheaper cost without errors. So a lot of times, if you say AI in a meeting and you're meeting with larger organizations, they're usually going to be thinking about it from the perspective of how can I optimize what I'm currently doing. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Tracy, who's going to speak about some use cases that highlight the advantages of leveraging AI in your business.
Thank you, Jessica. So right now, as we speak about the use cases of AI in business, there are several use cases, but I'm going to mention a few here. So the first one is fraud detection and prevention using machine learning algorithms. So fraud detection is used in many types of businesses, such as PayPal, Amazon, JP Morgan, Chase, Signify, and more. So fraud detection is really important in helping companies avoid problems in the future regarding fraud, and using AI to detect it helps companies better identify what may have been missed before. So, for example, with PayPal, which is an online payment company, they have a system that uses fraud detection to analyze large amounts of transaction data in real time to identify patterns and suspicious activities, enabling them to proactively detect and prevent fraudulent transactions. And then similarly, we have e-commerce companies like Amazon, whose systems also use AI to analyze data points, including customer behavior, transaction patterns, and seller activities, to detect and prevent fraud. And then we also see JP Morgan Chase, financial institutions like JP Morgan Chase, and also B2B businesses like Signify. And then now we have another use case is predictive analytics for sales forecasting. So predictive analytics is basically a type of data analysis that uses historical data to predict future outcomes. With the combination of predictive analytics, AI, and sales forecasting, businesses can improve their accuracy and make better decisions on developing new products and services that better meet the needs of their target audience. So here are some examples. Salesforce, it's a customer relationship management platform. It uses Einstein Analytics to leverage machine learning algorithms in order to analyze historical sales data, customer behavior, and market trends to generate accurate sales forecasts and also predict future sales outcomes. And then other examples is Microsoft, Tableau, IBM. So there's just a lot of companies that uses predictive analytics with AI for sales forecasting. And then we move on to AI-powered customer service chatbots and virtual assistants. And these chatbots provide 24/7 support to customers, answering their questions and helping them resolve issues in real time. For example, Google, they developed an AI-powered chatbot like Google Assistant. They use machine learning, they use natural language processing, NLP, in order to understand user queries, provide automated responses, and also assist customers with various tasks like answering basic inquiries to booking appointments and making reservations. And similarly, that's how Amazon used their AI-powered chatbots, along with Walmart, Apple, Bank of America, and so on. And also we have companies using AI for operational efficiency. So AI can automate repetitive tasks, freeing employees to focus on higher value activities. So one example is UPS. We know they're a global package delivery company, and they use AI. They have AI-powered systems to help them handle changes in package volumes, weather conditions, traffic patterns, optimizing delivery routes, reducing fuel consumption, and that helps them to streamline operations and cost savings. And also we have Pfizer, in which when the COVID pandemic happened, COVID-19, it really helped them to gather data and insights more rapidly. So they used AI algorithms to analyze production data, where they identify areas for improvement and optimize manufacturing schedules to increase efficiency and productivity. And then we have other companies like airline companies like Delta Airlines, Optum, DHL, and so on, who use AI for operational efficiency. So as we continue, I'll give it over to Jessica, who will be combining, showing the relationship between artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning.
Yes. And Tracy, before we move on, I actually want to hit on something just to let you guys know how this is leveraged more broadly, right? Because she hit on Optum and some of the other healthcare companies. And it is in my experience, like I've worked across multiple industries, in particular the healthcare industry, and AI is at the forefront of most decisions, right? So when we think about how can we engage with the various memberships, right? It's all about how do you understand what do they need? Can you predict what they need? And one thing that's somewhat controversial across healthcare is these AI models that predict when a person's going to die. They try to predict what type of condition the person may develop. And based on that, they put programs in place to get ahead of that cost of care. It's the same way across education, finance again. So it tries to predict which families may be in the market to purchase a home, which families which families are more likely to go bankrupt. So all of their marketing is targeted to individuals based on what they think the AI can predict. So again, it's controversial. There are ethical concerns that go into it, but this is what's driving a lot of the decisions across pretty much every industry. AI drives retail as well. So companies need to know what they need to have in stock. All of that is driven based on what was the previous years like, what was purchased, what's being seen across social media, what's based on our targeting, what's more engaging. So with that, we're going to have a interactive session here in a second, where we're going to leverage or going to go into some of the common chat languages, and we're going to input some questions. So I want you to start thinking about questions you may have based on your industry, based on your small business, or just whatever it is that you want to see, what type of response you'll get. We're going to enter that into some of the more common chats here in a second. But I want to summarize a few things before we move into that portion of today's webinar. So again, you have artificial intelligence. So that's just the field of technology and data where we're trying to replicate human intelligence. Then you have machine learning. So it's a breakdown of AI where we are able to develop statistical models to complete simple tasks. And then you have deep learning. So that's within the various workflows. It's really leveraged to drive some sort of decision based on the data that's been inputted. So one thing I want to highlight is that the various AI channels are only as good as the data that's inputted into them, right? So they can't regurgitate or provide information if they don't have all of the knowledge. So I just want to make sure you have that level of understanding, is that AI is not a fix to everything. It's only as good as the data, and it's only good as the coding in which the data is used as well. Okay, so with that, we're going to step out of the presentation, and we're actually going to do a live run through of these various chat windows. Okay, so I have a few things here, a few prompts that I'm going to enter, but if you have a prompt, please enter it into the chat and we can start with your question as well. So I am going to take the healthcare route because healthcare is one of the areas that really is looking to adopt it. They're trying to figure it out. And doctors are trying to say, how can I leverage this to get back to my patients and not focus on the mundane things? So I have a question here. I'm going to enter into Chat GPT. I'm going to enter the same question into Bing, and then I'm going to enter it into Google Bard. And across these, we're going to get different responses. So I just want to enter it into these chat windows. We're going to have a quick discussion, and we're going to enter a few additional prompts to see what type of responses we'll get. Okay, so the question here is, or the statement is, I have a toothache and a headache. What medicine should I take? Right? So ChatGPT is going to say, I'm not a doctor, but it's going to provide a few suggestions. So it's saying you should take some Tylenol, some Advil, some Motrin. Okay. Again, from a legal perspective, they're also highlighting again, they're not a medical professional. So do with that information what you will. So moving over to Bing AI. So this is built on Microsoft. So entering the same question, let's see what type of response we get from Bing. So as you can see, again, it's providing a recommendation, and we're going to talk about how this may help a doctor. So let's move over to Bard, and let's see if we're going to get anything, any additional information from Bard. So they're not even providing a response, right? So as you can see, ChatGPT provided information. They provided the disclaimers to say this is not professional advice, or it's not a substitute for professional advice, but this is what you potentially could take. You have Microsoft Bing that provided the same thing, and then you have Google Bard. One may say, why did Google Bard not provide that information? And it's really rooted in the ethics and also liability of providing that type of information. So that's just one level, high level example. Providers have something that's called EHR systems. So when you go to the doctor, they have this portal, they load all of your information and you're able to communicate with your providers. They're looking to better understand how to leverage these type of tools to get you quick responses to save you a trip to the doctor's office, so that if it's something really simple, you don't come in, but if it's something that's serious, you have a tool or interface to have that conversation before getting to them. Okay, so I'm going to take the route of let's think about this from the perspective of a small business. You're just getting started and you want to launch a product, and you're looking to leverage these chat languages to quickly get up and running. Again, you may be a small business, so it may be only one or two of you. So you want to do this at the most, using the most efficient means possible, right? So you're going to enter a question into this, and it's going to say, I just launched my small business. We sell orthopedic shoes. Help me develop a marketing plan. And as you can see within ChatGPT, it's laying out the steps you would need to take in order to launch your product. It's telling you all the things you should consider when launching, things that you need to create to be efficient in your ability to reach your customers, as well as considerations around your budget, also calling out customer interactions, and also ways to monitor and adapt. So it's a high level plan, but pretty comprehensive. So now, using the same words, we're going to go back over to Microsoft Bing. We're going to enter it, hit enter, and let's see what type of results we get from Microsoft Bing. So very similar results. Again, not as detailed as ChatGPT, but it does provide high-level things to consider when launching your business, right? These are the things you should consider. So let's give a Google Bard a try. Let's see what type of results we get. So again, Google Bard was the one that took the more ethical approach with the healthcare question, but let's see. So when looking at marketing, it lets us know pretty much the same bullet points. I don't know if you guys were able to see what ChatGPT produced, but again, it's highlighted, focus on understanding your targeted market, building out your brand identity. This one calls out attending events, which is a bit different from ChatGPT, customer service, and then also a consideration for free trials and consultations. So as you can see, each language produces something different. All of them provide high-level instructions on what you should do. ChatGPT is more comprehensive, but all of them are pretty generic. But it gets you going, it points you in the right direction to get things up and running. So does anyone have a prompt that they would like for me to run as an example? And if not, I'm going to run through one additional code. So if you do, enter it into the chat or come off of mute, and we can do a quick test on it.
I think Mimi is talking, but we can't hear.
Mimi, we're not able to hear you. You may want to put your question in chat. Okay. So what program am I using to enter prompts into Chat, GPT, Bing, and Bard simultaneously? So I am doing it the manual way. So I actually have old school notepad up on the side of my screen, and I'm just copying and pasting the questions into the browser as we go through the conversation. I hope that answers your question.
Can we have it a slightly different way, like saying that my sales are down by 30%, or like I want to increase my, I am in the US, and I want to grow my sales by 30% in the as a shoe retailer. What should I do? What steps can I take to market my company so that I can improve my sales?
And I think you said by 30%.
Yeah. And I want to say market because like it kind of says it goes by the same narrative, but just giving more context here. Whether it is able to kind of give any specific recommendations.
I like it. Let's give it a try. So it's very generic again. So
Okay.
in my experience, with getting down to the specific data and being able to feed it into the models, you actually have to have your current usage, your current sales information. Where you would be able to identify currently we sell more products in California than we do in Georgia, or based on the ads we run, we see that we get more engagement on Facebook than we do on Twitter or Instagram. And there are predictive models, or there are other tools that allow you to get down to that customization.
Mhm.
But things like ChatGPT, they're based off of publicly available information, right? So it's what's
Mhm.
out there, what's in the textbook. It's not necessarily niched down to various markets. So I think we could say, let's maybe Google, or not Google, let's search what are the top US shoe retailers, and you would be able to track your questions back to say, okay, based on the top shoe retailers, or which state sees the highest volume of shoe sales. That type of information may get you closer to the marketing strategy layout that you would need, or the marketing plan that you would need. But leveraging things like Bing AI and Bard, I don't think they are at the point of specificity yet,
Mhm.
especially with the free versions. I know with ChatGPT, for instance, if you have the subscription, you're able to add some of your customized data into their back end, and it's still being tested, but essentially add some of your data to their database to help inform the responses that you get. But that's
Interesting.
still evolving. That's still evolving. And some of the companies that Tracy highlighted on the previous screens, especially if you think about Optum Technology, they build out these type of models all the time, and they sell those models to smaller businesses, or they have partnerships where they've done the research and now they're looking to help the other companies move faster through integration. So for the user, it's really, or for the expert of these tools, you really just have to identify how you plan to leverage it, and then do your research to see which one is able to address your needs.
Interesting. Thank you so much.
Yep, my pleasure. Okay. Are there any other examples that we want to run? I have one that I just want to show, and I'm going to move quickly with it, just in the interest of time. One thing that I find to be very interesting is the ability to leverage AI to then build out additional code. So I think I may have deleted it, but I was playing around with this because I was thinking about website development. That's one of those things that small businesses, smaller companies, they look to understand, how can I get up and running fast? And within ChatGPT, you're able to say, hey, I'm looking to build a website. So this is the website again for those orthopedic shoes that we were discussing before. And they're able to generate code, enough code for you to launch your website. So for small businesses, this can really be put in place to transform your business. It can help you optimize in those spaces where you're really trying to generate revenue, you're trying to build partnerships. You'll be able to leverage things like this to get started and to move faster. And there are more examples. We actually created a white paper, and we would be happy to send it out to the group here, where we ran more examples and we provided our in-depth thoughts on which one is better, how to best use them, and also highlights other AI tools that are out there. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to, I think, Ty, to continue walking through the rest of the presentation.
Thanks, Jessica. So as we know, artificial intelligence, it is poised to reshape industries. We have seen that, and we've mentioned many different areas tonight of where artificial intelligence is in place. We have, as we mentioned, the chatbots in customer service. That is a very commonplace thing today. We have virtual assistants who are utilizing AI. We have photography who is even using AI. We have in the hospitals, the doctors are definitely using AI as their assistant. So with that, how can you prepare your business to implement AI within your everyday affairs? So we want to identify the core processes needed that can be automated. You want to select the best AI tools. You want to facilitate a team training so that everyone knows what steps to take. We want to know ethical. We want to make sure that we're in compliance with those things. So, and be able to create a culture of innovation for everyone. So in identifying your business needs and objectives, first of all, you need to define what are your organization's specific needs and objectives before you even dive into the world of AI. You could ask your questions such as, what process are you currently using? Where within your organization can AI help you streamline things? And also, what value can AI even add to your business? What can it add to your customers as well? So just considering those tasks, think about the everyday tasks that you take. We know some of those are just mundane, repetitive tasks that you're going about. Some of them are even time consuming. How can AI help with those things? What processes that could be improved when it comes to decision making for your business? How can you improve accuracy within your business with using AI? And also, how can you just enhance your customers' experience? We know that when we're in business, excuse me, the overall goal is to ensure that your customers leave satisfied. Will AI be able to help you accomplish that goal? Those are just some things to consider as you're implementing AI within your business. So I think one thing to have a clear understanding on is your business goals. So that way you can better align them with the potential benefits of AI so that you can have a successful implementation once you get to that point in the process. So, but that requires you to ensure that you are choosing the right AI system. We have mentioned a variety of AI tools that can be used. So many different solutions are on the market right now. We've talked about the chatbots. We've talked about natural language processes, machine learning, and even deep learning. So you have to determine which one is going to be the right fit for your business. So you're going to step back and do some research to different AI technologies and platforms, and then evaluate those based on the factors such as scalability, ease of integration within your business, how the flexibility of it, and then select what's the best option for you and your business going forward. So one thing we do know is that when it comes to learning AI and making predictions, it involves a lot of data. There is a lot of data that is collected so that you can make those predictive decisions. So having a clear data strategy in place is going to be crucial when it comes to implementing AI in your business. So you want to develop a strategy to help you determine how you'll be able to obtain the data. First of all, once the data is obtained, how will you collect it? How are you going to go about collecting that data? Once it's collected, where are you going to store it? And then who's going to be able to have access to it? It is very important that we keep in mind data privacy regulations and how they will be, and how you, rather your business will have to adhere to those. Another thing to consider is who will be the person responsible for maintaining the data after it's even collected. So this is where you will implement your data analytics to help you leverage the data to gain insights so that you can identify those market trends that you have. So building your team is also important because you want to be able to assemble a team that's not only skilled, but you want a team that's diversified. I think this is essential when it comes to success of AI implementation. So it would depend on the scope of your project. You know, you may have individuals from data scientists to data engineers to machine learning engineers as a part of the team as you go about building your AI team. So another thing too, I know we mentioned, is to consider those people who may be internally as well as external talent. So this may be upskilling or reskilling existing employees. AI can even help with that. You know, you can host a hiring event to bring in new talent, or even partnering with other AI consultants as well, so that you can build a team. Because once that team is built, then you're able to find the AI solution that's best for you, begin to collect your data so that you can begin to train your AI model with the data that you have collected. So this will comprise of a large data set of information. So because then you have to implement that and integrate it within your business. So therefore there's training and testing involved. So you may want to remember that there will be changes along the way. But as you make those changes, make sure that whatever model you're bringing in, that it can coincide with your existing system and processes that you do have in place. So monitor things as they're going about. You want to monitor them regularly to ensure that the performance is working correctly and that you're able to deliver the outcome that you're looking for. So we know that we're all continuously learning. So even with the AI models, they're continuously learning. So they will need to be refined along the way. They will need to be improved. So we know that oftentimes the human aspect of it is kind of missing. So you want to have things in place so that that we're catching those errors that may come about. So so that we can continue to improve not only the system, but so that you can have the upper hand to maintain a competitive advantage within your business sector. So again, just be prepared to make adjustments and improvements to your AI model as your business continue to evolve. So just stay informed, regularly assess the data so that you can continue to deliver the value to your customers that they expect from you as a business. So with that, excuse me. We're going to go to potential risk and how to mitigate them. So with that, we know that today AI is essentially, it's across a vast array of industry. We've mentioned healthcare, banking, retail, the manufacturing business. So we know that this is a game-changing promise to improve efficiency overall. So we're looking to bring down costs, be able to accelerate research, and just be able to develop development and have those late worries down the road that we can put behind us. So it starts with education. You have to have an education clearly aware about that. So I think clearly communicating with people about what AI can do and its challenges is essential. I think it's possible to use AI for the wrong reasons. So for that reason, organizations will have to figure out, what's the right process for using AI and how to stay within the ethical boundaries when you're implementing those things. So again, everyone across your organization will need to understand what AI is, how it can be used, and what the ethical challenges are that come with that. So with that, I would say, be transparent. This is one of the biggest things that you can stress, throughout the organization, with the lack of transparency of AI tools, then when it comes to AI decisions, they're not always clearly defined when it comes to us as humans. So be transparent and clear with your customers about what data you'll be collecting. Inform them of how that data is going to be used that you're collecting with them. We know that oftentimes when you're filling out forms online, it gives a disclaimer of, we're only collecting this information for communication purposes. Your data will not be collected to be used for to get to other third-party companies for robocalling. So, excuse me, that's where transparency comes in so that they know what benefit they have as a customer by providing you with their information. So we, again, know that AI is not a neutral thing. We know that AI-based decisions, they're susceptible to inaccuracies. A lot of times discriminatory outcomes come about and biases as well. So we know that when there's a clear AI communication policy in place, that it can help solve a lot of problems on the back end before they can even happen. So we know a lot of times surveillance arenas, they use AI to gather information. So, especially when it comes to the court system, they have to be very mindful of that information. So we know that as customers, they want to be able to trust the company that they're doing business with. We know, especially for those customers who have dealt with the company for a number of years, they have built a rapport with that company. So therefore, they feel that they can trust them. So, that requires a full transparency from the company about what they're doing. And the same thing with AI, you have to have that full transparency with them about how AI will fit into your company's overall strategy and the effect that it can have on them as a customer. So, but we're able to control those things. So, we know that as much as possible, organizations, they need to try to do things that are not biased. Creating better data sets that have better algorithms rather, and not just an opportunity to use AI ethically. So make it explainable to people. Can artificial intelligence algorithms be explained? That's just a question to ask. We need to make sure that people are building the AI systems of the future. Are we diversifying this? Are we collecting the people when we're building these teams that will represent us, the society as a whole? So again, thinking on ethical terms. So, and overall, we want to make sure that we are following the rules when it comes to AI, to make sure that you are adhering to the regulations. So we know that there are still a lot of unregulated parts that rely on self-regulation by organizations. We have companies like Google and Microsoft who are focusing on AI for the good. We know that Google has its own self-defined AI system. So AI should be designed in a way that respects laws. We want it to be able to respect our human rights as well as diversity. So AI, it has to function as a robust and secure way. We know that there will be risks continually evolved, but those should be assessed and managed as you go through. So as an organization, you should be able to develop an AI that should be held accountable for the system that you have in place, along with those principles. So just making it all work together, understanding that, there is risk involved. But with that, it's going to require a combination of technology and well-defined processes and, cross-collaboration teams to ensure that the right business outcome is the outcome that you receive. So with that, I am going to hand it over to Tracy.
Thank you, Tanishka.
welcome.
So right now, we're going to take a look at the best practices for using AI in business. And that really starts with having a good and effective business strategy, because that's where you can figure out, what problems that AI can help your business with, and also finding the right AI tool to help solve the issues in your business. So with creating a business strategy, you start with having a clear goal in mind. So you ask yourself, what do you hope to achieve by using AI? Like, do you want to improve the customer service or increase sales or reduce costs? Because once you know your goal, you can start identifying gathering the data and finding the right tools. So when we gather the right data, because AI algorithms, they learn from data, so it's important to have a good amount of high quality data in order to train the models that you're using for your business. And also choosing the right AI platform is important, because you don't want to spend money on an AI tool that is not helpful, to your business. So that's why it's important also to get help from an expert. If you're not an expert in AI, it's good to be able to get some knowledge from someone who does know, and can direct you in what AI tool to use in your business. And also, once you have all these, it's important to start implementing that AI tool, and also being able to monitor the results and how it's been performing and how it's been helping your business. And once you monitor the results, you can find ways to improve your AI solution, in order to just continue to make sure that the AI is working, like the AI models are working at their best. And also, as we go through the business strategy, it's important to be aware of what AI can do and what AI cannot do. So we know that AI is a powerful tool, but in a way, AI is not God. It doesn't know every single thing. It is not a silver bullet. And silver bullet just means because silver bullet refers to a solution that's simple, effective, and solves a problem immediately. But AI doesn't do that all the time. So it is important to understand that AI is a tool that helps you. It helps you in a lot of ways. It helps with simple tasks, but it's not a replacement for human judgment. Like, AI cannot tell you what your goal is. You have to know what your goal is for your business. So AI is just a tool to really help you. It can guide you on, based on the goal, what steps you can take, but it's up to you to decide where you want your business to go. And also, AI is a constantly evolving technology. So AI is still in the works. There's ways that it can still improve. So it's important to know what it can do now and what it cannot do. Because once you know that, it helps you to know what to expect and not feel let down, like if AI doesn't do something that you expected it to do. And to continue, so this is the end of our presentation. Is there any questions or comments that you have? And if there is, you can unmute yourself or you can type it in the chat.
Fantastic
And
presentation. I really liked it, and got to learn a lot of. I like the way how you presented. The entire presentation. What stood out to me was the three parts. Like, you presented the outputs on the three AI tools, which was good. I have a question on other AI tools which are most commonly used. do you have anything else that you're using in your businesses or in your consulting practice that you find useful apart from ChatGPT, Bing, and Bard?
So that's a really great question. I think it really depends on who we're working with and what the need is, because, we were talking before about helping to build out an infrastructure and helping to understand what type of technology that's out there, um, to really figure out things. If you're looking, it depends on what industry you're talking about. So for instance, there is a company called Covera, right? Within Covera, they have a model to help identify errors within diagnostic imaging. So your x-rays, your CTs, and your MRIs. So our goal would be to work with the various healthcare payers. So your United Healthcares, your Cignas, your Optums, and Humanas of the world, to help them understand how to best leverage those technologies within their practices to help reduce the overall cost of care. There are other tools like Copy AI that are being used within the educational realm that help you to create papers, white papers, right? So as you do your research, it helps to take those inputs and to structure it in a way that you could sell it out to other companies, or to help to develop a cohesive white paper that talks about all of your research. So that's really how we leverage AI. It's really to help, we help other companies understand how to understand what AI is, to help them in the exploration of the tools that are out there. And then based on the other pillar of our work that focuses on human-centered design and understanding the customer base, help to pair them with um, AI technologies that address those needs. So it's really about driving that profitability for the company. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. Why I asked this question is, like, I mean, as you mentioned in your presentation, AI has been there for a long time, but why it is there now, according to me, is because of these tools which are available for people to kind of use by putting non-technical information in and not taking non-technical information out.
Right.
And ChatGPT and these tools you presented are easy to use. That's why I was curious to see if there is any other tool which kind of helps you in making those decisions where you don't need much of coding knowledge to kind of use.
Yes. Yeah. So there are a few of them, and I can send a list out based on if you're looking for coding and you put the information into it. So I have um, a list of other resources out there besides those three, and it breaks down the various usages across the board. So there's a wide array of tools that are out there. So like I said, you have the back end coding, you have some that go out and do identification of, like, retail opportunities. You have those who do more of your text and targeting of the text messages. So there is a list of those. And after tonight's call, I can send an email follow-up so that you have that list to run a few tests out.
Thank you so much.
There is another question by Ming Grant. She asked, what AI program did you use to help you create your white paper?
So a good portion of what we did was really research. For the examples in the white paper, we used the 3 chat windows that we walked through tonight, and we walked through various scenarios based on industry type questions. So we have one that was very specific to healthcare, and we ran it across those those engines to see what type of results. We have some that focused on like the startups, and within that we did the same process where we entered those questions in just to compare the types of results. So those were the 3 that we used within the paper, mainly because they're the most common, more readily available, and easiest to use. So those were the 3 programs we used to create the white paper. But we actually pulled the paper together ourselves. Like we actually worked through the examples. So it's somewhat of a white paper, research paper on what it is, that goes a little bit deeper into what we discussed here tonight, and it adds a few additional examples of how to leverage it in your business.
And yes, and you will email that to you as well.
Yes, we will send that out as well. Okay. Do we have any other questions? Okay. I'm going to pass it back over to Tracy.
And so as we close, we just wanted to let you know that we do work with other businesses. So if you would like to schedule a free consultation, then in the email, in the follow-up email that we send, there is a link for the free consultation. So if you're interested, then you can book a session with our team. And also to learn more about who we are, you can visit our website or even call and email us with any questions that may come up after this meeting about AI or just anything in general for your business. And also we do have our social media channels. So we encourage you to follow our page. There you can find helpful resources that could be beneficial for your business. And we'll send out a survey. Here you can also use the QR code in order to fill in the survey. We do value your feedback, and just it would help us to understand what we can improve in the future. So we do encourage you to fill out the survey. And if you also want the link, then I can put the link in the chat also for the survey.